As you know, payroll time calculations can be tricky because time doesn't work like the standard decimal system. In this tutorial, we will learn exactly how to calculate shift hours, especially those that cross midnight, while correctly incorporating unpaid breaks and handling both daily and weekly overtime. But first, I'm going to teach you the missing piece that most tutorials skip, the secret decimal system behind Excel time, along with the specific data entry tricks you need to prevent errors before they even happen. Let's dive in. So, Excel stores dates and times as numbers. You see the date or time displayed, but underneath it is actually a number. A date is a full integer, and time is a fraction. Let me provide an example. If I write 1 and convert it to date format, you can see it becomes 1/1/1900. If I write the current date using Ctrl plus semicolon and convert both values back to number format, you can see the current date has been converted to 46,045. That is the number of days from January 1st, 1900 to today. This is how Excel stores dates. Similarly, Excel stores time as a fraction of 1. For example, if I write 0.25, 0.5, 0.75, and 1, and then change the format to time, you can see 0.25 is 1/4 of a day, which equals 6 hours, so it shows 6 a.m. 0.5 is half a day, which equals 12 hours, so it shows 12 p.m. 0.75 is 3/4 of a day, which equals 18 hours, so it shows 6 p.m. and 1 is a full day, which is 24 hours. Now, you might be wondering why we need to understand this. We need to understand this because when we calculate payroll, we need to calculate hours and then multiply them by the hourly rate. The next important thing to understand is how to enter date and time data correctly. I have employee data here with shift date, clock in, clock out, break start, and break end columns. Let me add an employee ID here. For the shift date, you can simply press Ctrl semicolon to enter today's date. Similarly, Ctrl Shift semicolon and you will get the current time. Edit it and enter your desired time. Another method is to select these columns and press Ctrl Shift 2. Another way is just go the ribbon and select time from here. The third method is to press Ctrl 1 to open Format Cells, press Tab to go to Categories, press T to go to the time, and select 1:30 p.m. Then click OK. Now, when you enter time, you can type 8:30 and Excel will automatically format it as 8:30 a.m. For PM times, you either type 8:30 with PM or use 24-hour format like 2030, and Excel will convert it correctly. However, the best method is to convert your data into an Excel table. Press Ctrl T to create a table. Tables automatically copy formatting down to new rows, so you don't have to worry about format inconsistency. When you enter 8:45 in the next row, it automatically maintains the same format and adds AM automatically. One final consideration. If your colleagues use different regional settings or a 24-hour format, you can force the AM/PM display to remain consistent. Press Ctrl 1, go to Custom, and select H:MM with AM/PM. This locks the format so it won't change even if the file is opened in a different locale. Okay, now let's move to the next part, how to calculate the total hours worked for payroll. The basic method is simple. We click equal, then clock out minus clock in. This works fine for normal day shifts and in most cases. However, as I included shifts that enter into the next day by crossing midnight, we start seeing hash values. This happens because Excel cannot display negative time values. If we look closely at this case, the employee clocked in at 3:50 p.m. and clocked out at 4:23 a.m. the next day. In 24 hours terms, 3:50 p.m. is 15 hours and 50 minutes, and 4:23 a.m. is just 4 hours and 23 minutes. Since the clock out time is numerically shorter than the clock in time, Excel produces a negative result and shows hash marks. To solve this, we can use an if formula, which seems a bit complex, but later I will use a mod formula that is quite straightforward. The logic is, if clock out is less than clock in, meaning the shift crossed midnight, then we add 1 full day to the calculation, plus clock out time minus clock in time. Otherwise, we just do clock out minus clock in. As you can see, this if method works and gives us the correct hours now. However, there is a much simpler and cleaner way using the mod function. We simply use mod. We shall use clock out minus clock in for the first argument, which is the number, comma, and 1 for the second argument. It is giving a result as a decimal value. Let's convert it to a time value. Press Ctrl plus 1, tab, then T, again tab, and here I will select the second value as it is without AM or PM. AM and PM are good for data entry, but they create confusion when we need a time duration. It is okay now. As you can see in column I, the mod method produces identical results to the if method, but with a much shorter formula. Now let me explain the logic behind mod. When the result is positive, like here, the mod function looks for the closest whole number below the value and finds the gap from that. Here the lower integer is 0, so nothing changes. When the result is negative, the nearest lower integer is -1, so mod finds the gap between that -1 and the negative value, which effectively adds 1 and removes the minus sign. That is why this single formula works perfectly for both day shifts and overnight shifts. Next, we'll calculate net hours by deducting the unpaid break time. We use the same mod formula because the break might also cross midnight in some cases. The formula is mod clock out minus clock in, comma 1, minus mod breakout minus break in, comma 1. Now we have our net hours calculated correctly. Let me format it to remove AM, PM. It is okay now. However, there is an important issue here. If we try to multiply these net hours directly with our hourly wage rate and convert it to number format, we get $19, which is clearly wrong because the employee worked much more than that. The problem is that Excel stores time as a fraction of 1 day. Let me change it to a number and show you. To fix this, we need to convert our net hours to a decimal number by multiplying by 24. This is the critical step for payroll. That's it. These are the correct hours worked in decimal values for payroll. Let's multiply it by the hourly rate. Now we get the correct wages. Now that we have the basic wages calculated, we still need to add the overtime calculations. Let me add 2 columns to my table. I will name the first column hours at the regular rate and the second one hours at the overtime rate. So now we shall calculate both hours. For example, we are offering our employees a regular rate up to 8 hours, and after that, if they exceed 8 hours, we shall pay them 150%, which is 1.5 times the regular rate. To calculate the hours at regular rate, I will use the minimum formula. Here, minimum of our decimal hours in 8. From these 9.33 hours, we shall pay 8 hours at the regular rate and 1.33 hours at the overtime rate. Let me calculate the overtime hours. Here I will use the max formula. Max of our total hours minus 8 and 0. This formula tells if the hours are greater than 8, then calculate the difference, otherwise write 0. And here, these are our overtime hours. Lastly, we shall calculate the wages payable. We are paying the regular rate for 8 hours. So 8 multiplied by, for example, $50, which is our hourly rate, And plus here for the 1.33 hours, I will again multiply it by 50, but I will have to multiply it by 150%. And enter. And that's the correct wages payable. If I am paying the same $50 to every employee, then this is the correct wages payable after calculating the overtime rate. Before we wrap up, there is one final critical step. When you sum up your total hours for the week, here I have a weekly data of employees, and I want to sum total net hours of the first employee. You might notice that Excel shows only 17 hours and 30 minutes, even though the employee worked 41 hours and 30 minutes. This is because Excel resets the clock every 24 hours. To fix this, select your total cell, press Ctrl 1, go to Custom, square bracket, small h, closing square bracket, :mm. Those brackets tell Excel to keep counting past 24 hours instead of starting over. Now your weekly totals is correct. However, if you are in decimal format, you do not face this problem. And that brings us to the end of our masterclass. We've covered everything from the secret decimal system and data entry, best practices, to solving the midnight problem with the mod function. You now know how to correctly deduct breaks, convert time into decimal hours by multiplying by 24, and calculate overtime without any errors. With these techniques, you have a bulletproof payroll system that works for any shift, anytime. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like and subscribe for more Excel tips. Thanks for watching, and happy calculating.